Let's do this. This'll do it. Hey guys, it's Ben here from Second Dynasty. It is 3 p.m. on Friday, the 17th of September, 2021. I have been busy this week, as has AlBen. AlBen is AWOL. I think he went to the bathroom. I don't know. But, yeah, he must have been cutting it a bit too tight there, since you can obviously see Owen is occupying the chair over there. In any case, today we're going to take a look at some of the stuff we've been doing in the last week. We've had a fairly busy but zen week, and also I'm going to try and avoid not just raving about June for the next hour. Because for some strange reason, it premiered here on Wednesday. We got into the very first showing. There was like 8 people in the theater, and holy fuck, I've not felt like this since Fellowship of the Rings. So, I want to temper your expectations. I am a Dune fan, but it's to be seen in the theater. Probably multiple times. In any case, I will shut up about Dune unless people specifically ask questions about it in the chat. I don't want to drop any spoilers, but I'll just say that if anyone's seen the Lynch version, Villeneuve completely fixed the problems with it. Quite clever. So there's no inner monologue this time around. It works. It works. And I'm really hoping you guys also go out and support it like I have so far when it is available. I know it's not premiering in the US until the 22nd of October, which is nuts. But I would go to the cinema and see it, not watch it on the streaming services you have. In any case, it's definitely like a theater film. Go to the biggest screen you can find with the best sound system you can find. In any case, let's move on. The spice must indeed flow, and it flew. There was a flow of it, definitely. In any case, yes, you do need a big screen for it. We didn't get to see it in IMAX, but we did see it on, like, I think the largest screen in Sweden. And yes, it was worth it. I'm going to go back for sure. So yeah, what are we looking at? Let's move on to Second Dynasty stuff. Dune has been, of course, an inspiration, as it has been for many other people. I read it when I was 14, so like I said, take it with a grain of salt, but I thought it was brilliant. So this week I have actually split up my time quite a lot. AlBen has as well. We'll get to AlBen stuff if AlBen ever turns up again. I expect him to turn up in the office at some point. Let's see. What have we got so far? Hey Jay, hey Craig, hey Mick. Oh, there he is.
Oh, holy shit, so to speak. What's up?
Is that what was up?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Could
Someone
hear
looked at
the
the time and went,
sherbos.
"Oh, I've got 5 minutes to squeeze one out." Good job, AlBen.
Woo.
In any case, hey, that blasted Semiflange. Welcome to the stream. So, yes, let's see, these are all Dune things. Love most of the director's previous movies. Okay, if you have seen the previous movies by Villeneuve, I would say this is the most accessible one. So, this version of Dune is more accessible than the Lynch version by a mile, and it's more accessible than the latest Blade Runner movie. So, I've heard people that aren't familiar with Dune saying it's understandable and they could follow it. So that's got to be a positive thing. Anyway, I've got to move on because I really will just blabber on about it for the next hour. AlBen, how are you doing? Aside, relieved right now, I assume.
Exactly. That's a very good choice of word, I guess. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Working wise, I've been looking at. We've basically finished up and published landing gears, and I've been doing some ammunition dispensers for the scout ship that are kind of okay. I've been having a little bit of an issue with them printing printing, but I'm almost completely finished with it. I don't know if you can see it here. It's like a...
I can do a close-up, hang on. There we go.
Ah, sweet. So they are like drawers or something with ammunition, like missiles and sandcaster ammo. So that's not like a drawer at all, I guess. And then I've been working on turrets. I've exported a few, printed.
Okay, should we keep the close-up going?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, so you can hold it up to the camera.
So I printed these ones that we have been having as a stretch goal. So they work nicely. It's mostly Ben who have made them, and I just looked over them, and they seem to work fine. So there are variations, and then I thought, yeah, I should try and clean one of them up, and just flames a bit too much. So this is more like a scatter gun, I guess.
I don't think that would hit anything.
Nah, anything or perhaps everything. I don't know. Then I've been working on this bad boy. So this is for the add-ons.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a... I can't remember if it's called like slug gun or something. It's like a Gatling gun, basically. So it's like a kinetic weapon.
Like a slug thrower, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I might be mixing things up.
Yeah, has been a while since I looked through the manual. I've just been focusing on modeling stuff. So this one is not completely done. I've been cleaning it up, so it will be working with the existing connection rings that have been used for the towers in earlier versions as well, I think.
Every single version uses some variation of that turret ring, yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I'm not sure is that are they the same dimensions? Because you have been improving the...
The outer dimensions are the same, yeah.
Ah, okay. So you should probably be able to reuse it. But I have to do some cleanup in the mesh, because when I net fabbed, it doesn't really contain the or maintain the proper geometry. But the idea is that you have like a turret, and you can just slide in this case, the Gatling gun. I might do roughly the same solution, but use a missile instead, so you can just split it in place.
So there are some caveats with these missiles, just to make it clear. We went after the T5 illustrations for them. Exactly. They don't like it's difficult to know how they would work practically. They're like, but we chose to basically do the designs as close to possible as what's seen in the book, so that you can have that familiarity. The consequence of doing this, however, means that the turrets aren't as articulated as our original turret, so the barrels will not move up and down, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
You'll still be able to turn it 360.
Exactly.
So that's the compromise.
The issue is that if you were to take the pivot point in consideration for this one, for example, it would sit below the turret. And that makes everything difficult when you want to print it flat. So you would have to create some sort of geometry that would be separate from the turret. And it's kind of a mess that we don't really have time to figure out at the moment, unfortunately.
No. Well, at least AlBen's going to be a bit busy in the middle of October, so we're trying to get everything pushed out with all of that. So he is going to be working here full time, but he did have some promised work that he's got to do towards the end of the year.
Yep.
So he'll be in and out for a couple of weeks there. But yeah, we that's. Is that all we've done this week? No, it's not. Not at all.
No. You've been busy as well.
Before we get to the exciting thing, I think it's the most exciting thing we've done so far. I just wanted to do an update. Like, it may have felt like the beta hasn't had very much progress, but it very much has. I just didn't want to show too much. Here I haven't got the shaders all down pat yet, but some of the main areas I've been working on is the nose. I've not mirrored the side yet, but you can sort of see I've been adding some frames and detail there to sort of like get it to sort of line up with the detail that we've added along the bottom here, so that it's just a little bit closer to like our traveler style stuff with some fuel tanks and whatnot built into the walls and some storage. So yeah, I built some storage in there. So yeah, and the other thing I did was I made the rooms manifold, so that they're now they're kind of our style of rooms that we've done, but they should print standing up. You may need some supports in there. Oh, there is a hole. So manifold was a lie, apparently. I did feed them out through Prusa Slicer, but I don't want to go into that just yet. So the rooms have been done, the forward section has been done, and the other major improvement is the cockpit. You can now see there's like quite a lot of panel detailing that's been put into place here. So yeah, I've been working on this upper cockpit. You can see it's now a lot more smooth. It should print a lot nicer. If you look at the geometry, you can kind of see some of the detailing there. And then, of course, on the inside, you can see that we've got, this is significantly more detailed than what we had in the original version. Just to sort of bring it up to spec. You can even see some, like, paneling and that sort of thing. And then I was in the middle of working on doing the other side. So I got some padding on the ceiling here. That kind of follows the tradition of what we did in the cockpit for the Type S. Where there's just a little bit of padding in some of the illustrations that we've seen. And then I'm trying to integrate it with these control panels here so that there'll be, some more panels on the side. Still got to close this off. I add this little fin. And as you can see, it's sort of like at the kind of fidelity levels that you would expect from our stuff these days. Moving back to something that's more compatible with past stuff as well. So we do have to do that compromise of like in between, I guess, our most recent stuff and our older stuff. So it still there is a lot more detail here than you would see in the paneling of the standard beta. But we didn't want to overdo it, so it feels like it's just, a slightly more detailed section. So Pulsifer says this will be my third beta. I'm going to print this one. I was going to print some stuff yesterday. Like I said, my week was broken up a little bit. I did take I snuck off a couple hours on Wednesday to see June, but I think anyone will forgive me for that. We've waited long enough. So yeah, I'm happy with the progress. And yeah, that's what I've been doing with this ship. It does have quite a bit to go to get it fully printable. There are, however, I believe, that's not quite printable, but it's very close to. Been working on the rear of the ship. I have to figure out how to make this rear ramp work because it's wider. How this is all going to connect together, and then how we're going to implement AlBen's engine style. I believe these engines are slightly larger, but I think we would want the same sort of connections and systems. So
that sounds exciting.
Persepolis and Fat Bottom Girl need a companion. Yes, indeed. So I think we have images of those on our Discord somewhere in any case. So if you guys want to find our Discord, just check out our channel, and down the bottom we have the links. Otherwise, if you're seeing this on YouTube, we should have the links there as well. So
John is saying hi, by the way.
John, you said you weren't coming.
He's probably just taking a peek and leaving.
Just wants to know whether or not he's being mentioned.
Ah.
we will talk shortly about John's contributions. I hope to have him freed up so I can send him back to doing some deck designer work like next week. We'll see. But yeah, I every time I load this up, I still like, I'm pretty pleased with how this ship has come out.
Looks really nice.
It is, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with where it's going. So, like I've said many, many times, this ship design is more like my personal aesthetic. So, although, you know, we've added to it a lot over the years with these, you know, side airlocks and whatnot. So, let me change projects to...
Meerkat Manx is wondering what specs is on the PC that you're modeling on.
Oh, my PC is a beast. I can't remember which processor I got. I bought this like at the end of last year, so it was whatever Intel chip was pretty beefy at the time. It's got 64 gig of memory. It's got a 3090. Yeah, I was quite fortunate to get one of those out of the gate. Although, you know, I had to pump a lot of cash into this pre-built computer to do it. And then it's running on some M2 SSD drives to make sure that there's, you know, lots... the disk writing is very quick and whatnot. So, yeah, that's my little beast.
Really useful.
So, we have here my stretch goal scene. I don't know that it's the same one AlBen's using, and I hope it's not, because...
It should probably not be. I tend to split off everything.
You do. You make quite quite a scene, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
The iteration on the autosaves gets a bit much for my Dropboxes to deal with.
I was working at another place the other day, and I completely forgot that the files don't have reiterative versions as you have in the Dropbox. So I've just been saving over the same file because I'm used to it, getting used to it here. And then I just realized, oh fuck, I need to reanimate something. It's no problem. I just go back to the... Oh no! That was kind of a pain.
That sounds like it would have been a pain.
Yeah, it was kind of an easy fix though, so it wasn't too bad.
Well, that's nice to hear that it wasn't too bad. So the other thing I've been working on this week is the Winglets, and you guys might remember a simpler version. Even this is more advanced than the one that I originally had, I think. But now we have a lot more detail put into these things, and I'm going to actually ask AlBen to maybe, if you want to take your camera.
Let's see now.
And show them.
Let's fly away. Yeah. Where are we?
There we go. We actually have printed out one side. I haven't printed out the other. I'm very, very happy with how that's sitting on the ship. I don't know how far we can zoom that out.
I need to take my legs and walk a little bit.
Yeah, but then there's that cable.
Yes.
So, yeah. You guys can kind of see how it looks on the ship. I mean, we can see that in 3D as well, but
that's a good point.
I love the way that the profile works. Oh, right, yeah, you have the camera. It's out of focus.
I know.
Try
focus, you bastard.
Duck it down and tip it up again. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now a little further up. There we go. A little further up. There we go. Yeah, have a look at that. Nice. So there's our prototype. You can see the landing gears installed on it as well as the flat nose. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the winglet I think looks great. And it goes really well with the flat nose.
Yeah.
We could technically switch that out for the other flat nose too. We have printed that. So I'm very happy with where that's at. All right, AlBen, thank you. I'm going to switch to the screen again so we can look at it in 3D. Yeah, there's another mess in here, sure. But look at that.
Beautiful
silhouette. I really like the look of that and how that turned out. So it's a good option. It actually uses 4 components. Here's the front version. So the top fits on just like the original version. The bottom, I could probably import these pieces actually. So let's do that. I've got one too many in here. So yeah, the back ends, I guess it all didn't fit on the same platform, but has the wing built in. So it is quite large, but I think most reasonably sized FDMs, you could rotate this just like 30 degrees and it would fit in a much smaller square. I've gotten it all print ready, and the good news, guys, is that thanks Pulsify, have a good one. You guys can actually go and download these now. The turrets and the winglets are available.
Woo!
Mikitron, I've seen, is in the chat, and we have talked about it. The air rafts are just about finished. But since they're going to be done later today, I've just given him to the end of the weekend to get that all polished up. So, we will have those probably released on Monday as well. And I'd imagine that AlBen will be finished with the rest of the T5 turrets, probably close to Monday or today. What do you think?
Monday, Tuesday, perhaps.
Okay. Rightio. That's where things are at. So if it is a case of just needing a couple more hours, we might release.
No, did you mean the ones that I've printed today?
Yes.
Oh, they are done.
The T5 ones. The add-on one.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're on the same page,
Mm.
or at least I think I know what's going on. You no longer feel bad about your computer not running as smooth when putting stuff together. I mean, in Maya it will still be a bit slow, but yeah, I've got a beast of a machine. It still does slow down quite a lot. But you can actually do a lot if you're in Maya, like turn off the anti-aliasing, turn off the... I don't even have it on right now, but the screen space ambient occlusion you can turn off, turn the lighting off in the viewport, and then if you just isolate meshes so that you hide stuff you don't need to see, it will run a lot smoother. But the 3090 works quite well, we have to deduce. So we'll continue to work on the stretch goals. I have to get back to the Archdukes. We do have 2 miniatures that we need to get made, nice. But I don't know if you guys have seen or not. I did post about it on a lot of forums. Let me see if I can find the link here. But Papsicles, our sculptor, currently has a Kickstarter going. And let's see. I think I can dig this up pretty easily. Because he gave me a reference code. So I will copy the link here and I will stick it, hopefully, into the chat. There we go. Check out Papsicles Kickstarter. Well, Papsicles is the main artist responsible for it. It's actually run by another bloke. But yeah, this is your if we called it not an ante for our Sleipnir, you could say this is not aliens and not Predator. To be even more on the nail, because it kind of is even more on the nail. But there's like a ton of miniatures. I think it's only like €40 for the whole package, and it's like something stupid like 100 miniatures. We also did have like a deal up there where we put together some of our stuff from Starship 2, which might be extremely heavily inspired by Ron Cobb's work on the Nostromo. Not the kind of stuff I would do today, but we did put some stuff up for free, and we did do some 50% off codes for that older stuff. So be sure to check out his Kickstarter there. All right, now what else do we have? Oh, right, the miniatures. The miniatures. So, Actually, maybe the better, before we get into this, maybe we should switch back over to AlBen, and maybe you can just put our most recent ship into focus. This one.
Right. All right.
Yes.
I see now. I thought I was doing something in...
I don't know if I knocked the turrets off that thing, but I might have.
Man. Oh, it looks...
The top turrets are there, the side turrets have come off.
They are not present at the moment.
That doesn't surprise me too much, to be honest. So this is the Broadsword, the Type C. This is at 1 to 270 scale. So this is the same scale that they use in X-Wing, the tactical tabletop game, right? Or for a vast majority of the ships. You can kind of see the seam line there that AlBen's got facing the camera. So that would have been at the back of the printer. But yeah, I thought this came out really, really well. We are definitely making some progress. We've settled on, let's see, I'll switch back to our work scene. You can kind of see it in here now. In the pieces. I'll probably go back and add the God, what are they called? The shuttles. Not pinnacles. Pinnace. Is that right? No, it is something like that, like a pinnace. And I've also in the process of adding some additional holes here. Like the turrets, they work using filament. These obviously are designed for FTM. We've successfully test printed them. You can kind of see them here. I experimented in 2 different scales. But by the end of things, we ended up with something a little bit more chunky so that it kind of like looks more apparent. Need the 28mm version of the broadsword. I did the math, and it would come in at something stupid like I think it was 16 kilos.
Oh, what? 16 kilos?
I don't know if we can do that, to be honest. But yeah, and then I'm working on this, the Type M, which is the subsidized liner, which is what we're going to be doing the rest of today, unless you would rather watch AlBen's turret works, or if you would rather me go back to the Beta Centauri. So why don't we do a little vote? So vote 1. What is it? Type M subsidized. Yeah, the cutters. Thanks. Subsidized liner. 2. AlBen's turrets, and 3 Beta Centauri. So, vote on what you guys want us to work on for the next half hour or so. So, the subsidized liner, by the way, this one, John did like the base retop of Ian's mesh. And so yeah, I'm just going in and adding. I'm doing more retop, you could say, or rebuilding the geometry. So this has probably still got another day of work left on it. So let's see. So far, we must have some Traveller fans in here because we've got. Oh wait, no, we've only got 2 votes so far. Abstaining because you can still have your say. Come on, you're at least involved in the chat. So. So far we have 2 votes for the Traveller ship here. Traveller block votes. I'm going to give it another 30 seconds, and if we don't get some more numbers in there, I think we'll just continue working on this thing. But yeah, I've been working on this all day. I've actually had a couple of Zen days at work, like, come on, vote us down. There's not enough people actually watching this, Craig. So I think you might have it. The only downside here is I don't have the reference material up on my other screen, so I might be able to do that, but I'll need to make the image smaller so I can still see the chat. All right. So you can see there's still a lot of detail lacking on the underside. 3 people out of 10 that have voted. Yeah, but I mean that's yeah, it's voluntary, and some people are probably just lurking or having showers. So yeah, we're gonna continue working on this since there doesn't seem to be any consensus on anything except for continuing to work on this from our traveler block. So it seems like the travelers are in the majority today. So basically, this is a similar process that we've been doing, where we're essentially just doing some extrusions and mesh repairs. John provided these in separate meshes, thinking that I was going to boolean them together. But there's just something deep in my soul that can't abide a boolean if I can avoid it. So I've got a bit of a repair job to do here. So I'm just going to move these to there, and then we'll just merge the vertices. And of course AlBen is working, chugging along in the background.
Oh yeah.
So we can check in with him later if we just put the screen sharing thing going. Not that you have to worry about it now, but today I actually snuck into your Discord and put it on streaming mode, so we won't have any pop-ups.
Oh, okay. That is awesome. I need to learn how it works.
Yeah, I'll show you when we turn it off.
When I'm not at a toilet break.
Yes, you would have seen it if you didn't just run off to the toilet.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
It was kind of an emergency, though.
Well, better the emergency be when it was and not now, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Good to hear.
Megatron says, Boolean operations are a thing of the devil. Yes, they are.
Yes, indeed.
Reminds me of the water boy. Football's the devil. So yeah, whilst these may look like very, very simple shapes, and they are, what we're aiming to do right now is to just, like, when you get that print going, this should just make the panels lift. You know, we'll be printing this out probably if we slice that in half there, and slice that in half there. Probably actually we'll slice it somewhere here. I don't know if we'll have this actually, probably that'll be a separate thing. I'd imagine. So, if we'll leave it on at all, I don't know if we'll have the shuttle there, the cutter. Thank you. So I assume this is some form of modular cutter that is just held on to the underside of the ship. This doesn't look like the kind of thing that likes to land, but that is a modular cutter, I believe, on the bottom. I don't know if Ian's joining us today, or anyone that's actually an expert on this thing. But yes it is. Oh, this was the last thing I was doing. I was adding this topology back in. I've got to get rid of some of these edges. We can see they're actually creased, so they were thick. What?
Blasted Samuel Florence says, all ships can land once.
Yes, indeed. So I just have this image. I'm going to just gently move it over. So that's what I'm using as my reference on my other screen, which is why my head is turned. So I've just got that sort of like, and then the chat next to that, so I can occasionally glance over. So yeah, I'm in the process of just adding a little bit of a detail pass. You can see I've already done it for these sections. John, you'll note that I've rounded these off even more. And I've used a technique which I just actually used a second ago. Prior to the stream, to get these shapes in place here. So what I'm going to do is just select these. And I'm just going to harden these edges so that they stick out a little bit more. Wait, is that right? Should be. I'll just harden these for now. So yeah, not do the bottom one complete. That's already hard anyway. So yeah, we can just see like this, like the edges here. We've just added in additional polygons to make it rounder. It'll look better on the print. This thing I've estimated to be 25.4, so that would be 10 inches long, right? 254 millimeters approximately. From my calculations, the ship at scale should be 25 centimeters exactly. Add a couple of warp engines and this could pass for a Klingon ship. Maybe. Maybe. Certainly it looks like original series era shipping. Oh, that's right. I was working at the back. I'm working on all kinds of parts of this thing at the moment. So yeah, we just pop up these surfaces rather easily, and it's a long process, but it's kind of easy. It doesn't hurt your brain to do this kind of work. You can listen to music, you can talk. So in general, it's a very positive sort of work type, I guess. Like, it's not like when we have to solve problems. That can get nightmarish. Let's see. I wonder if I can open this image in a new tab. Yes, I could. And zoom in. Okay, great. All right, let's see. Streamlining and whether a ship can land on a planet with an atmosphere is one of those traveler discussions where you will get different answers from different people about different rule sets. A regular topic of debate in the various Facebook groups. Oh, I can imagine. I wouldn't want to risk it anyway. The thing I think about is Alien Covenant. That gets me every time about the fact that, aside from the fact that they have some kind of cargo lifter that uses some kind of rocket engine to actually get a platform into space, which aerodynamically is not at all a good thing. Very inefficient, but the fact that they seem to lack shuttles and we're bringing the ship too close to the atmosphere, it should just not be done. Let's see, so it would have been helpful if I could show you guys this thing. I wonder if I can pull it. I've got way too many things here. So I'm just going to drop the end of this over here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Oh wait, our heads are on top of it. Damn. Maybe something like this. Yeah, we can put it there maybe. It's going to be hard to work around, but that's going to happen. Alright, it was a nice thought. It was a nice thought. It's not happening. Okay. Radio. So, AlBen, when are you going to go and see June?
When I'm going to see June?
Yes.
I'm not really sure, actually. My sisters and one of the boyfriends of them were talking about it quite a while ago, so we haven't really planned anything about it. So I have to check with them what they are thinking.
The important thing is you go and see it so that I get a sequel, please.
Yes, it shall be done.
It very clearly in the movie says June Part 1.
Oh,
So
that is nice. Man, it feels like I sound like Borat when I say that.
very nice.
Very nice. Oh man.
Quit that Cadillac. Supreme Being. Very nice.
Yeah, that was
Alright,
a movie.
here we go. Let's see. Solar sails / solar collectors on a deep space vessel. So much cringe and comment. Yes, indeed. Ben, while working on these designs, do you plan out any of your own ships for the future? At the moment, I'm not thinking about my own designs. This is like, I've talked about this before, where I have basically a certain limit of creativity, and usually when we're making ships, the problem solving side of things, that kind of eats into my creativity. Like even like I usually run a D&D campaign. I've had issues in the past actually being inspired enough to run it because I'm just so empty. It's actually easier working in a sense, even though it's more challenging than designing something for yourself on existing designs, because then you kind of like know what you're trying to accomplish. But yeah, I don't even know what my next ship would be if it wasn't, a traveler ship. I don't even know what other franchise I'd like to tackle, to be honest. I kind of feel like if I was ever to do like, say Star Wars, for example, I wouldn't want to tackle like a Millennium Falcon or an X-Wing. I'd want to tackle, something that hasn't been seen in I mean, there are a lot of 3D models of those sorts of things, but I want to do like something from KOTOR, like the comic series, or maybe I love Gozanti Cruisers, but then I don't know how much I like the Mandalorian interpretation of it. It was awesome to see it. Don't get me wrong, and there are many iterations, so there would be room there to do something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think smaller ships are sort of like where it's at, mostly just for the fact that they're more manageable, and also I'm thinking about people and their printers. Like a lot of people have said, oh, the Type S is so huge, and I'm just like, it's actually like probably my third smallest ship.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, put together Jabba's sail barge. That would be different, for sure. The thing is, like, you do want to do something that is not just going to be used once, ideally, right? Unless you're Brian Jenkins. He likes to do crazy stuff for his Star Wars games. Really awesome stuff. Should check out some. I think his username on Instagram is Templars Crusade, so check that out. It's the guy that painted the Type S and the Sleipnir for us. Let's see. So here we have a little bit more hull detailing. So I'm just gonna do something like this. We can. Let's see. I've actually locked the scaling here, so I'm just gonna. Why is that still locked? That should be off. There we go. So I'm just making a little bit of a square here. I can see there's a feature I'm trying to replicate. And then what I'm going to do here is, oh, okay, that was not a flat surface, so that was not a bright idea. The way we solve this sort of issue is to select the actual face itself before we scale it back down. And then we're moving it in the same plane, so it should look pretty flat, which it does now. When we move it around, so that looks like it just is meant to either be an indentation, but I think we're going to go for something that sticks out. So I'm just going to go 0.1, 0.1. It's small stuff, but it's going to create just interesting variation on the hull. And obviously this is done in halves because we're just going to mirror it in the end. The Type S is fun sized. Could go for a throwback and do something inspired by a Firefly. I think if I wanted to do something inspired by a Firefly, I would try and get the license and just do a Firefly.
That sounds cool.
It feels like more approachable than certain licenses. So here we need to get a little bit clever. How are we going to split this? Well, first of all, looking at the reference, the section here is not hard to see. It looks like some kind of... It's kind of hard to see. It looks like some kind of observatory. It has this kind of ring around it. And it is actually a little bit more like lengthened than this. So let's see. Oh, it's a bridge dome, is it? Okay. So I think this basic shape we might need to just squish around a bit to make it. I don't know if that is good or not. I guess it needs to be widened out again there. And I would want to go... You know, that doesn't look too bad. It's a bridge dome. Okay, gotcha. So what I'm just going to do to try and make this slightly more tapered, or not tapered, but like to fit this model. I'm going to turn on my line view so I can see the wireframe, sorry. And then I've just lifted this a tiny bit just so that this ring is actually on the same level as the rest of this. And then what I'm going to look to do is, for starters, we only need half of this. So, and actually this could probably be wider. So I'm maybe going to bring it back up a little bit further, like something like that. No, that fits fairly well with the design I'm looking at. So then I would just go down and grab the nearest ring. So right now I'm trying to change the pivot point. And then, yeah, so I would take this and I want to get this to snap onto one of these. And then we just do like so. So it'll stick out like that. I think that'll look fairly nice. Let's see, I have the deck plans on file for this. I'm sure Jay has one as well, so we can check out which bit does what. Yeah, the version I'm looking at is a bit... This is about right by the looks of things. We're going to add in some more detail as well. I just want to get this sort of ringed first. So I'm going to look at it in the front view, and we're just going to cut out the half that we don't want. The bottom doesn't matter as much because we're just going to get rid of it entirely. There we go. And then what I'm actually going to look at doing... Wait. Oh, okay, there's stuff missing. Is I want to try and get this line here, because this is split in halves, right? So I want to get this line here so that I can just get it on the same section. So first things... Yeah, okay. So if I look at the channel box, which is underneath my face for you guys, this object is set to 0, 0, 0, and it's XYZ. And this object is also set to 0. So I'm going to move the pivot points of the whole object towards the middle here, with the goal of actually shifting it to the grid. And there's a reason I'm doing this. And I'm sure most people's programs are going to have different options. So if I shift it to there and then move it over like so. Oh, damn it, I didn't. Okay, that's 1.167. This one should be 1.167. If I freeze transformations here, delete the history, and I take the same translate coordinates, this should jump forward. Oh shit, that wasn't much. Huh. I would have expected that to move more. Yeah, the deck plans didn't look that complicated. Alright, so I'm going to move that forward, and I'll just manually move this because we hadn't decided on a position anyway. So I wanted it to be in between these two sections, I think. Like there and there, and I'm going to just check my geometry there. So yeah, this is a good spot on that side. This is a good spot on that side. And if we look at this version, you can kind of see it just sticking out a little bit in what's become this section here. So I haven't made this a plate yet because I want to integrate it. So yeah, the reason I'm doing this is because I just want to slice this down the middle using the grid. So I'll select this on grid mode, and then I'll just snap and draw down. Let's see, maybe I need to zoom out first actually. There we go. Snap, and now if we look very carefully, if we turn the grid off, we can see we have this line here. So I wanted to create two parts, and then we're just going to take like the forward part and the rear part. So let's see if this looks good. I need some more bits and bobs there. Same here. I'm just going to select and then reselect. Couple there. How's it going for you, AlBen?
Yeah, I'm cleaning up my own mess.
Just like the bathroom again.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
Okay.
That's not my problem anymore. Nah. Yeah, that's interesting task to have, I guess.
What is?
Cleaning up your own messes.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, it makes you wish you did things differently at times.
It's a lesson.
Yeah.
Alright, so I've got this mesh. I'm going to do a detach. So it'll just get this into two sections. So if I select there and there, they're separate, right? And then I'm going to go mesh, separate, and then we have separate models. And then we can go ahead and do the dreaded Boolean. This may or may not work because Booleans usually want manifold meshes. So this is kind of like a bastard version of it. Really what I'm doing is just combining these. So let's see. I'm going to save. Always a good idea before a Boolean. Mesh Booleans, and we want union. And we can see we've gotten half here. But if I go to normal, we get both halves and a line in between them. I think there's a line in between them. Yes. So this takes a little bit more cleanup. But we get it actually merged together in a sense. So, and then we can sort of like come back and do some of that more detailing, add some panels. This doesn't have to be highly detailed, right? Oh, the only thing is now that this is not in the right orientation. So I wonder if I paste that. Okay, that's forward enough. So if I go like that, it moves back into position. And I just need to do the same thing with this one and that. So mesh, Booleans union. I'm going to switch it to normal.
That would suck. A Boolean union.
Yeah. So we've got some crap we need to get rid of now. You can work on it to make it work better, but oh crap, that didn't align. Alright, so we can cheat here because I know of other points on this mesh that we can sort of like align it with. So I'm just going to move this down here, and these parts should be on the same coordinates. So hopefully that lines up now. That looks good.
Jay Slatter is wondering if it's possible to make the ovoid more egg-shaped. Unfortunately, I've split it up already, I think.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything more than this. Like I'm just looking at the design. I know it's not gonna be perfect, but the other thing to think about here is this is just a tiny miniature. This would not be like, oh, we're gonna make the ship big, right? So yeah. Anyway, I mean that is fairly egg-shaped, or do you mean more like rounded on one end and then tapering a bit more on the other? It would be possible, but I should have done it before the Boolean in that case. So not super optimal. We're going to go with this. See, because this is one of the things where you've got to just like decide, no, we're going to do a simplified version, because otherwise we're going to spend months getting these ready, and that's not good for business. And, you know, this is going to be at such small scales that I think, honestly, we don't need to see that level. So yeah, booleans leave a mess. Oh, I forgot to. The cardinal sin of booleans is you need to delete the history before you do anything else. So we also want to ditch all of this bottom stuff here. So we're just gonna try and ring around here. Expand. You can see already we've lost some geometry, and some of this I will actually recreate. So I'm going to get rid of some of these faces here on the outside, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the inner section. So let's. I usually like to select one away, and then we'll expand the selection, which will grab us most of the things that we want. Oh, not that one. That one will do there. We want there. So I'm really just looking for like a fairly functional selection. Because we do have, like, these are n-gons. We want to get rid of them if possible. This is the whole reason why we try not to use booleans. Oh, we've selected some other faces. Hopefully that was the only one. We can kind of tell from where the pivot point is if we've selected faces that aren't in the general vicinity of where we want to be. So I'm just going to select there.
Good point.
Wait, AlBen, that sounded like you learned something.
No, I mean, you do that intuitively after a while.
Yes.
You just realize, oh shit, my locator for my transform is not in the center of my selection. That means I've selected something across the model.
I love Jay Slattery's comment. Good enough for government work. So, I suspect if we delete all of these extra vertices, that some of them are going to stay. I was wrong. Pleasantly surprised.
Ooh.
So, fairly clean. Oh, the thing is, booleans likes to leave a mess behind. So the fact that these vertexes are disappearing is actually good news. Because usually the main hindrance to making a mesh manifold is like something like this, where it has a vertex, but you can't delete it because there's actually a hidden polygon or triangle that is just
connected to it, yeah.
Yeah, like it's sharing the same coordinates. And like Maya's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm having a fun time dealing with that at the moment myself.
Oh, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Although the quad tool that we've discovered works really well, actually, has been speeding up my work quite a bit.
Nice.
So now we want to re-topologize this. I'm just doing some bridging, which is my preferred method. And then filling in the gaps. Usually when it's just triangulation that needs doing, I'll come in and do some bridging, and then we'll get a section like this, right? And then the solution generally is to fill the hole, and then we'll take this and we'll triangulate. So it is a bit of a mess. It's not perfect, but we can go ahead and ditch this territory here, right? So I think this model probably won't be finished today. It'll be finished on Monday. And then obviously I do want to do... What am I focusing on next week? The Beta Centauri.
Yeah.
Oh, partition... Oh, airlocks also I've got
Oh, yeah,
responsibility
that's right.
for. So I might do the airlocks next week, because I do enjoy the airlocks. Yeah. Let's see. So any of these that look like they're oddly shaped, even if they're quads, I'm just triangulating just to minimize, you know, any issues that we might actually have. And then here, it's basically, you know, the algorithms that Maya uses. It's just going to look for the shortest path. So we can probably fill these in now and triangulate and get something close to, you know, what we were looking at before, shape-wise. So if I kill the wireframe, you can see this has a nice smooth line going all the way through. We do want to create some of that geometry, but before we do that, we're going to add in some of the plating I can see in the diagram, especially now that you know, we've got some of these faces selected, but what I'm actually going to do is deselect, and then I'm going to manually just come in and just select some of these sections. Ooh. And I'm sort of just dragging. Oh, here we probably want to triangulate actually before we do anything else. I'm just dragging. Really, if we drag in the corners here, we should be able to get most of these polygons. Let's see if we do like that. See, we're only missing a couple. Because we only really need to get the corners to select them. Obviously, if you're not using Maya, many of these tips can still be applied to some degree in your program, but they might do it better. I have a sneaking suspicion Blender might be better at the moment. But I don't know. Well, I heard Ian started using Blender too.
Yeah, I saw some work here done on Discord. Can't remember the model, but it looked really cool actually.
Very good.
Yes.
So we want to just do our extrude again to get this plating, and we're looking for issues like this one. So I would just take these vertices, we'll just put them down here. This probably isn't 100% perfect, but we're just looking to fix, you know, some minor shape issues. We might need to recreate some of the topology as well. One good way to do things is just to just drag them down manually. The other thing too here is we want to take this section, because if we again look at this image, it's hard to see. I can't really zoom in more, but this is a flat plate that spans both sides. So I'm going to just move these and get them to match the center so that it'll be mirrored, and when we mirror, it will look correct. So let's see. Still good enough for government work. See, I don't know if that is... Doesn't sound like a satisfied answer. So, let's have a look. That looks pretty good. It'll look even better when we're, you know, all zoomed out. So I think we can start trying to recreate this little... I guess it goes across and then up a little bit, so we probably want to not have it too high. What is the best way to draw that? I would say we just draw it manually. So I'm just going to bifurcate some of these polygons, or quads rather. And then if you imagine the pattern continues, this won't be exactly the same, but I figure it makes more sense if this is fairly flat. And then we're just going to see what we can do following this up. At some point we want to probably, you know, taper this in half. There we go. So it is a little bit harder there, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea. And then we... I'm not sold on that. Maybe we just want to go... see what halves looks like right from the get-go. We don't have to worry about these because we're just creating quads here. It'll be difficult to select, but yeah, it is what it is.
Good enough for government work.
That's gonna stick with me now.
Yep.
So yeah, in Ian's version here, this is tapering off a bit. So what I might do is just cut that in half again, and then something like that, and then we'll just ditch this line. I'm deleting the history quite often because that's what slows things down in this version. So what I'm going to do now is try and grab all of this, and I'm just going to do our usual extrusion. I might do it a little bit more shallow. This will be a boring part, I think. So I'm excited to get those winglets to you guys. They're already ready for download. I put them up like I think before lunch. So surprise! We did some planning last week and realized, hey, we don't actually have that much to deliver, which was nice because we're like, oh, AlBen's going away for a few weeks.
Yeah, that was relieving as well. Lot of revealing stuff today.
So these smaller triangles, really, I could have probably merged those. We wouldn't have seen too much of a change here, and they are going to create issues.
Oh wow, I just had to interrupt for a short intermission.
What?
Did you know that you can actually use, what the fuck is the tool called? Target weld tool, but you can use it on edges.
Well, it won't be able to select all of that edge.
I mean, if you take the... it just... I ran across it in my own scene at the moment. It was kind of interesting, I think.
Well, perhaps you can demonstrate how it's used by us switching to your screen.
Oh, okay.
Let me just go and rig this up. So if you share...
Okay, here we go. If I share... share your screen. Go live.
Alright, so let me just pop that out, and then we'll move it over to here. So hopefully you guys should see his screen now.
Ah, okay. So it's a general mess, but just to show you in usual ways when we use this specific tool, we go to vertex mode perhaps, and we go to merge vertices, target weld tool, and this one oh shit. Let's see. It snaps and merges vertices together.
Ah, okay.
The thing is that I didn't realize until a few moments ago is that you can instead go to edge mode and snap edges together.
Okay.
So if you have a lot of vertices in a row that need to be merged, you halve your efforts. That's kind of I found stuff like that interesting and useful.
I'll have to give that a try. Although, in this circumstance, we've got this gnarly selection going on, so I probably don't want to touch that for the moment. Otherwise, I will have to redo all of this.
Dun, dun, dun.
The winglets look cool, Jay. Awesome. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
someone's happy. Aside from me. Usually, if I'm happy, most people are going to be happy.
That is good.
That's definitely going to create issues. But we'll fix them easily enough. That's not a great sign there. So hopefully, I'm just going to go over all of these edges now and make sure that all of these triangles are selected. See, that's an issue we'll patch up in a little bit. All these tiny triangles need to be selected, or else there's going to be like a gap. So that looks good. And up here it's more clear cut. Alright, so I'm just going to take these now, and I think I'll actually just do a 0.05 thickness. And you can see it's, you know, we have the issues I anticipated. It's just now we're going to try, like, merging things. So maybe I will try this, wait, in vertex mode, merge vertices, target world tool. Oh, okay, you select two different ones. Oh, okay. This may be, indeed, saving us some time. And it goes to that one. Nice. Nice. Alright, so I'm going to get out of that for a second because we want to create... This needs to stick straight over onto our next piece, right? Before we merge them together again. So let's go back to merge vertices, target world. Been using Maya for
Yeah.
I don't know how long, so it's always fun and interesting when you know a new tool turns up. Well, a tool that's been there the whole time.
The thing is that's a bit annoying is that you don't really know, is this an update that I missed, or has
No.
this
That's
been here?
definitely. I've seen the target world tool be there for a long time. It's just I haven't.
No, I mean like the possibility to do this, like use edges instead, for example. I've only used it for vertices ever.
Right. Well,
But,
I've not even used it. So
not at all.
Not at all.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me see.
So yeah, we don't need these to be as you know, these are unnecessary sections, so it's better to just merge them. Oh, that goes so much quicker. Let's see. I was just thinking with how some traveler ships can land on water, that having hydrofoils for landing gears would have been interesting. Yeah, the only two examples of water-landed craft are 1,000 and 200. Wait. But oh, you mean specifically designed for it? Because I mean, I could have sworn I've read that the Scout can do it.
There are like illustrations of it landing on water, I think.
There are. There's like some chick in a bikini.
Yeah. Not a chicken, right?
No, a chick.
Ah, okay.
I think
that would be very disturbing.
A woman.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm a bit tired.
A chicken in a bikini, AlBen, you full of interesting observations about the universe.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't want to see it, but I want to see it at the same time.
I don't think you do.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, it probably would not look that bad with a chicken in a bikini. It would probably look like a chicken in a bikini. I can't believe we're talking about this. Oh, we're at 4:15 already. You can't tell, like, honestly, I think once we get some stability once AlBen's here on Thursdays, I think we're going to switch to Thursdays. Because just the Friday is not an ideal time to be streaming, it feels. Let's see. All ships can land in water to refuel.
Oh.
I don't know that there's like... I think this comes back to that statement you guys were making about this landing and then this landing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing that often gets overlooked or forgotten about traveler ships, right, is that, like, they've got anti-gravity. So you can pretty much get anywhere. Like, you can hover fairly easily. That would be nice. At least these aren't too process intensive. Actually, if I turn this off, will it work quicker? No. Oh, that's interesting. It seems to slow down. So yeah.
There's that.
Let's see. The type TJ can land in water per illustrations. Wilderness refueling is skimming hydrogen from gas giants or water from oceans. Yeah. Wait, am I... Maybe I've been making some mistakes here. Oh, that looks alright. It looks okay. I wouldn't say it's my best work. And there's like... This is why I don't boolean so often. Like, John prepared the mesh for booleans. I don't know if he's back or not. I think he had to be away. But in any case... like... He'd prepared all of these meshes to boolean into each other, like here, and instead my preferred way of doing things is deleting the faces and then just aligning them and bridging them in the end. So you can see this section has been ready to bridge against this section, right? So we haven't merged because when we merge, every operation we do just takes that much more memory. Oh, we need to also take this and take this line and just move it over. And then, yeah, we need to delete some history here so that we can get back in on this. Also, the other thing you can do to cut down on how long it takes to process things on screen is to just like do what I did and isolate. It's Control 1, I think.
Yes.
It's yet another case of my fingers know how to do it. AlBen laughs because he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes. I mean, oh Jesus, it's so difficult if you... For example, I was talking with Theodore, who is helping out at Dockfilm. They are making a short movie called Tortoise in Time.
Tortoise in Time.
Tortoise in Time, sorry. And he was wondering about something in After Effects. And I was like, yeah, I know how you do that. Let me just use the computer so I can type in the shortcuts. I can't explain it.
Yeah. Been there. Okay, so this looks good now. Well, I say that, but you guys will be the judge. But now we've got this edge in. I'm wondering if some of these issues might be from earlier. I'm just going to do some merge vertices. They didn't disappear. So I suspect that this is either soft edges. It was soft edges. So if we just select these edges and choose the parts we want it to be hard, we will get rid of some of that. So really it's just an aesthetic thing. And here, this looks good. Alright, so I guess the upper side also had some issues, but it looks like it's all within tolerance. And we have fixed that other issue that we had. So it is 20 past 4. Let's see, I'll have a look at the questions or comments. See if this, let's see, like the shuttle in the epic scene from Cowboy Bebop, you could use thrusters, but most craft switch to local anti-grav for them fine maneuvering close to the ground. I mean, it makes more sense. The way in which maneuver drives work in Traveller is another one of those debates. Thrusters aren't really a Traveller thing, but I like them, so I also have them in my universe. I put them in because I figure they must have redundancy, right?
That's a good point.
By the way, have you checked out the meshes for those custom type S parts? I'm going to try and bang out another room insert this weekend. No, like, sorry, I've been focused, I guess it came in late. We've been doing the winglets, they've been released. What else did we do? We talked about June a lot. We talked about the turrets, the Type S turrets in the style that we did the ship in have been released. The T5 turrets are currently being produced.
Yep.
Yeah, we printed the Type C Broadsword, which we showed off earlier. So yeah, now we're just sort of like getting the Type M here ready to go. So here we go. We've got a nice little edge there that follows the image fairly loyally, I feel. If we again look at the pitiful illustration, let me move this over a bit more. This is the section we were looking at doing. So By pitiful, by the way, I mean like that the Facebook image. I can't seem to blow it up any more than that, but yeah, I'm going to continue to work on this, adding, a rim around the rest of it, doing the same process. We're going to leave that at that for this week, I think. So I hope you guys will join us next week. We should have, let's see, next week we should definitely have all of the turrets finished.
Mm-hmm.
The air rafts will be released at the beginning of next week with the other turrets. I'll be making a lot of progress on the Beta Centauri and maybe looking at the airlocks. AlBen, it looks like, is going to be checking out the assorted cargo.
Yay!
So yeah, and Papsicles, despite having that Kickstarter going at the moment, he does have, he did send me a couple of poses. I don't know if I dare actually look at those, but I could do this. I could get a snip tool and just do like this, so you guys can kind of see here the poses that is done for Jade. He wrote Sleeping Beauty. He's not far off. So those are done, and then I think there is also a 0G one as well. Sorry, let me do that again. Snip tool. Do a new one. And there we go. So yeah, we got some poses coming up. I assume they're probably going to be ready sometime next week as well. So we are narrowing the gap down on what is outstanding. I still think the Beta Centauri is probably going to be the very last thing. And I'm sort of like dividing up my time between this and the miniatures. And I hope by the end of next week that we'll have this Type M done. We will have the Varga pirate ship too. We're going to do that next week, I think. And what else do we need? We still need to do our Type S. But we'll basically then have the core miniatures that we're looking at doing for the next campaign, so that we can get them test printed, and move on and start working on campaign stuff, so we can launch at the end of next month.
Yeah.
So yeah, time is going quick. I would imagine that we're probably about a month away if things are on schedule to launch this next campaign. Maybe 5 weeks. That is quite tight. But we are going to do a little bit more on the rendering side with the help of Ian's existing model. So we'll probably just use the SketchUp renders for like stretch goal imagery and whatnot. Which, it's great to have access to that material. And then we'll go through this process. But as you guys have seen, it is quite a process to convert these models so that we can get them printable and also just up the detail a little bit more. Like, they've been designed for cell shading primarily. By the looks of things, I don't know, Ian, you can correct me if like the illustration. So we're just adding a little bit more detail and geometry, a little bit more edges that is going to pick up nicely in your printouts. All right, let's see. Craig posted new ideas for Type S inserts in the Discord. I have a med auto deck room and a large barracks room. Those things are going to look great. Partitions is on our list. We haven't decided who's doing it yet, so I think it will be the last thing after the cargo and airlocks. So there you go. I think the airlocks are fairly ready to go. I think the airlocks might take maybe 2 days to get printable. It all depends how many variants I'm going to put up. Anyway, guys, let's leave it at that. Thank you for joining us, and have a great week. We will see you next Friday. Bye, guys.
Take care.